All right, so very fortunate tonight to have Raymond Francis here. Raymond is a friend and my mentor. We've probably known each other about 20 years now, so I'm excited to have him here. He's living in Florida now, so I don't see him as much as I used to. But Raymond's been called a brilliant advanced thinker and has been cited as one of the few scientists who has achieved a breakthrough understanding of health and disease. I personally think it's the most comprehensive health model that expresses health in the simplest way and makes it actionable too. On the cutting edge of health science, Raymond is an internationally recognized leader in the field of optimal health maintenance and a pioneer in transforming our failed disease care system to a true healthcare system. He's a chemist by training, a graduate of MIT, a best-selling author, and a world-class speaker. Please welcome Raymond Francis.
Hello, everybody. The topic of my talk tonight is what I want to get across is we have a problem. We have a very, very big problem. That problem is called the epidemic of chronic disease. Chronic disease is epidemic in America, and it is decreasing our quality of life. It is decreasing our longevity, and it is increasing the national debt and threatening to bankrupt the United States government. The government is on an unsustainable path. Within 15 years, unless we do something, we're going under financially. And the U.S. will become like a third world country, unable to pay its financial obligations. If we look at the numbers, the big 800-pound gorilla in the room is the cost of disease. The economists say if we can cut the cost of disease in half, we can salvage the situation and make it manageable. So that needs to be our goal, to at least cut the cost of disease in half. And that, my friends, is easy to, well, I shouldn't say easy, simple. Simple to do, not necessarily easy because of all the political impediments and other impediments to implementing it. But if we want to do this, not only for yourself, because if you're healthy, you will feel better. Not only for your family, because they'll have you around longer to enjoy you. And not only for America, so that we don't go bankrupt and that's going to be very unpleasant for everybody. The quality of life for everyone will decrease if that happens. So there are great incentives to reduce the epidemic of chronic disease and reduce our healthcare costs. So we have to get on with it. And it has to start with you. It's not going to come from the top down. It has to be a bottom-up revolution with individual people deciding that they are going to be healthy and doing that. And that is a challenge because, you know, most people don't really think about health actively. I mean, people are concerned about their health. There's no question about that. But they're not actively concerned about their health. They're not reading books on health. They're not trying to educate themselves. They're not looking at everything that they eat and everything that they do in their life and trying to be as healthy as they can be. Most people just live their life and don't think much about health. So that's a huge impediment to solving our problems. And so it's something that you need to be apostles of and talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors, and start to get them interested in improving their health, as well as you improving yours. And you can be a shining example as you become healthier and healthier and healthier and more energized. You can be a shining example to all of those around you. So they'll say, hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm trying to be healthy. So health is not an active concern for most people. It's a huge impediment to achieving our goals. So we need to change that. The change needs to start with you. And you need to start taking personal responsibility. We don't teach this. We don't teach people, we don't teach our young people that they are personally responsible for their health. There is no one who is responsible for your health except you. I'm not. Your doctor isn't. Nobody is. You are responsible for your health, no one else. And however, even if you decide to accept this responsibility, you don't know how to do it. Because one, nobody ever told us we were responsible, and two, nobody ever told us how to be responsible, what to do about it. So it's a two-step process. You have to decide, well, I'm going to be responsible for my health, I'm going to educate myself, and I'm going to learn how to get well, how to stay well, how to never be sick again. All of these chronic diseases, and I want to use this word very carefully, there is no compelling reason why anyone should have any of these chronic diseases. And I'll say that again for emphasis. There is no compelling reason why any of us should have any of these chronic diseases. Now, are there genetic diseases that are difficult to deal with? Absolutely, yes. There are true genetic diseases, but you're talking maybe 5% of all disease. The other 95%, you're responsible for. And if you learn to accept this responsibility, learn how to execute this responsibility, you can remove disease from your life, and you can live a very long, disease-free life. Now, I used to be like an ordinary person. I lived an ordinary life. In fact, I probably ate a better diet than most people, and I probably avoided toxins, and I probably did better than most people. And yet, at age 46, I was crashing. I was tired, fatigued, dragging my tail. I went to my doctor and told my doctor, boy, I'm really tired. I just don't have any energy. And the doctor did thousands and thousands of dollars worth of testing. And I came back for the next meeting, and the doctor said, you're in perfect health. I said, Doc, if I'm in perfect health, how come I feel this way? And he said, you're getting older. And I said, I've never felt this way before. And he said, you've never been this old before. The ignorance is so profound that it's just astounding. This man, I always go, I'm a quality freak. I want the best of everything. This man was a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. That's pretty prestigious. Professor of medicine, Harvard Medical School, and he was so ignorant, he didn't know that if you're tired, you're really, really, really sick. He just says you're getting older, instead of, hey, you're really, really sick, let's try and make you well. Let's try and find out why you're sick. Let's try and make you well. So 2 more years passed, and by that time, my tail was really, really dragging. And I made another mistake, went to see another doctor. That doctor gave me a diagnostic test to which I suffered a catastrophic reaction, became totally disabled. went to 36 top specialists, and finally the last one I went to, you know, all these people, they look at you, they measure your symptoms, they come back and they give you a fancy name. You tell them in English what you're experiencing, and they come back with a Latin, which is the same thing you just told them in English, and for that they send you a bill. So I went to these 36 top specialists, and all they did was send a bill and come up with fancy Latin names for what I told them in English. And the last one finally said, "Hoo boy, I can help you, take this drug." And I took the drug poisoned my liver died, and my death was a medical certainty. At the last moment, I had to use my knowledge of biochemistry to save my life. And then it took me 2 years of hard work and learning to restore myself to where I could once again function like a normal human being. And after that, I started asking very fundamental questions like, why did I get sick? Why do people get sick? How do people get sick? How do you take a healthy person and make them a sick person? If they have a sick person, how do you make them a healthy person? I started to get answers to these questions, and the answers were so profound, they just blew me away. And about 6 months into this, I realized that what we call modern medicine is essentially unscientific nonsense and worthless. It doesn't work, it's very expensive, it's very dangerous, and it's already on the way out. And the faster it goes, the better off we're all going to be, because it's basically nonsense. So anyway, I started thinking about, well, if medicine doesn't work, what does work? And I started thinking, well, you know, I cured myself. Anybody, you know, I'm a highly trained scientist, and I was able to use my scientific training to help myself and to heal myself. But I thought about it, I said, what if somebody else was in the same position I was in? What would have happened to them? Well, my death was a medical certainty. You can be certain that other person would have died. So I started thinking, how do I take what I've learned and bring it to others? And I've been doing that now for a few decades. And I've written 5 books on the subject, and they're all cutting-edge books. And what I've done is I've simplified things. You see, if we look at human health, it's infinitely complex, infinitely complex. According to the World Health Organization, there's over 12,500 diseases. Well, name somebody who can cope with over 12,000 diseases. Nobody can do this, nobody. So if you want to help people, if you want ordinary people like yourselves to be able to take charge of their health, and you have something infinitely complex with thousands and thousands of diseases, what do? The answer is you have to simplify. And so what I've done is I've taken all this complexity and I've cut through the mystery and I've simplified health and disease so that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I teach this to 10-year-olds. People all over the world have bought my books with terminal illnesses. I wrote a book on how to cure cancer. People around the world with terminal cancer buy that book, costs $15. They go home, they cure their cancer. And it's happened all the time. People keep coming up to me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was here a couple of years ago, and a guy came up to me, and he said, thank you, thank you, thank you, God bless you, God bless you. He said, I had terminal melanoma. I had 26 rapidly growing tumors all over my body. The doctors at Stanford told me nothing could be done. I bought your book. I'm totally cancer-free. So you see, when you empower people with simplicity, they can handle it and they can do miracles for themselves. I had another lady come up to me, and she came up to the podium like this, and she was saying, look, 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 look. And she got up to the podium and she said, look at my hands, look at my hands. She said, I had rheumatoid arthritis and I was crippled, and you cured me. I didn't do anything. She cured herself. All you have to do is learn a very simple system, which I call the Beyond Health model, which we teach to children. And if you learn this model, the power is so awesome, you can do almost anything.